The University of Oxford is one of the most prestigious universities in the world, with over 20,000 applicants each year competing for a very limited number of places, so it's not easy to get in. But how do we know this? Because Oxford publishes an extensive admissions report every single year that details the number of applications received by the university, as well as the number of offers sent out and the number of students that accept it. The most recent of these reports, which details data from the 2024 entry cycle, was released by the university in July of 2025. With these new figures, we can not only see how many applicants got into the university, but the admission statistics for every undergraduate course and college at the university as well. In this video, we're going to explore these figures in order to answer some of the most pressing questions that applicants have, including which courses are the most popular, which are the most competitive, and of course, how hard it is to get a place at Oxford. So let's get straight into it by first looking at the overall stats for the year. In 2024, Oxford received 23,061 applicants, which is the fewest number of undergrad applicants since 2019. However, the number of offers that Oxford gave out was at its highest since 2020, 3,793. This gave applicants a 16.4% offer rate, 0.4% higher than the previous year. As for acceptances, 3,245 students were admitted, leading to a 14.1% acceptance rate. Compared to the University of Cambridge's admission stats, we can see that Oxford is a fair bit tougher to get an offer from, although acceptance rates do even out a bit more. This isn't anything new though, as Cambridge has consistently been less competitive overall. When looking at the past 5 years of Oxford admissions data, we can see that success rates have slowly been increasing since 2020. This appears to be a combined result of gradually decreasing applications and increase in offers, although the number of acceptances hasn't followed as smooth of a trend. While this does indicate that Oxford has been getting easier to get into over the past few years, these success rates are still far lower than those seen in the 2010s. During this period, offer rates had been as high as 21% and 19% for acceptance rates. The rates now are much lower because the available number of offers and places hasn't increased much since this time, while applications have consistently exceeded 20,000, which first happened in 2018. So while it's significantly harder to get into Oxford in the 2020s, we have been seeing a fairly positive trend in recent years for applicant success rates. However, that's just the figures for the university overall. Applicants should really be more concerned with the admissions rates for their specific course, as these can look very different to the university rates. Let's start by breaking down the admissions rates for the 5 most popular courses at Oxford in 2024, based on the number of applications received, starting with Economics and Management. This course got 1,517 applications in 2024, a slight drop from 2023. It's actually one of the most competitive courses at Oxford, something which we'll explore a little bit later on in the video. Next up is Physics, with 1,518. In 2023, it didn't crack the top 5, but now it places 4th despite receiving fewer than 25 additional applicants. As for its success rates, we can see that from 184 offers and 173 acceptances, applicants had a 12.1% offer rate and an 11.4% acceptance rate. These are both down slightly from 2023. PPE is one of Oxford's most iconic courses, so it's no surprise to see it with so many applicants. However, although 1,774 applicants is a good amount, this figure has actually been decreasing since 2021. In fact, this year is the fewest number of PPE applications that the course has received since 2015. While there are a number of reasons why this might be the case, one thing that's clear is that the drop has been making it easier to get a place on the course. Offers and acceptances haven't decreased since their peak in popularity, so the success rates of 15.2% and 12.8% are the highest they've been since 2018, although it's still pretty tough to get a place on the course. The second most popular degree was law, which is a generally popular subject in the UK. With 1,872 applications, 216 offers were sent out and 182 students were admitted. This gave success rates of 11.5% and 9.7%, slightly below the average for Oxford. But the most popular degree in 2024 was mathematics, with 1,959 applications. This is a pretty good increase since 2023, and it's the most applications for a single course at Oxford since PPE in 2022. Of these, 205 received offers and 187 were admitted, giving success rates of 10.5% and 9.5%. On the opposite end of the scale, some of the least popular courses at Oxford included European and Middle Eastern languages, with 30 applications, philosophy and modern languages with 24 applications, And religion and Asian and Middle Eastern studies with just 14 applicants, although that was a 400% increase from the previous year. Although the courses we just looked at were the most popular, that doesn't necessarily make them the most competitive. So let's look at the next 5 courses which were the most difficult to get into for Oxford. When considering courses' competitiveness, we'll be judging them based on their acceptance rates, as courses can sometimes have higher offer rates than other courses, whilst ultimately being more competitive. First of all, we've got mathematics and computer science. With 610 applicants, the course sent out 68 offers and accepted 57 students, leading to an offer rate of 11.1% and an acceptance rate of 9.3%. The offer rate was actually higher than some courses, including law studies of the European variant of law, which had an offer rate of 10.3%. Thankfully, all of the remaining courses stay in the same order of competitiveness for both success rates. Next, we have biomedical sciences. Out of 494 applicants, just 49 offers and 43 acceptances were made. This course had an offer rate of 9.9% and an acceptance rate of 8.7%. This admission cycle was before the introduction of the Biomedical Science Admissions Test, or BMSAT, so it'll be interesting to see how this test affects the results in 2025. We now have mathematics and philosophy. While it's far less popular than the standard maths course and the computer science joint degree, it was a bit more competitive with an offer rate of 9.8% and an acceptance rate of 6.9%. Computer science is next, which is consistently one of the most competitive degrees at both Oxford and Cambridge, as well as pretty much every other university in the UK that teaches it. From the 881 applicants that it got, only 66 offers were sent and 56 students were admitted. This gave success rates of 7.5% and 6.4%, which are actually slightly better than the admissions rates from 2023. But lastly, we have one of Oxford's most popular degrees, economics and management. As I alluded to before, Oxford only sent out 93 offers to its 1,500 applicants. Of these, only 83 students were accepted, giving success rates of 6.1% and 5.5%. Again, these were actually higher than in 2023 and 2022. So, these were the most competitive courses, and they're mostly pretty popular ones. But which courses are the easiest to get into? A running theme with the least competitive courses at Oxford is that they're all language-based. The courses are Modern Languages and Linguistics with a 37.1% acceptance rate, Classics and Modern Languages, 37.5%, Modern Languages, 40.1%, Philosophy and Modern Languages, 40.7%, and European and Middle Eastern languages at 43.3%. None of these are particularly popular courses. Only Modern Languages had over 100 applicants, so this is still good news for anyone who's interested in studying language and is considering applying to Oxford. So that covers the major questions that are often asked, but before we finish, let's have a look at some of the other notable courses at Oxford which haven't been mentioned yet. Although it had previously been one of the most popular courses, medicine was kicked out of the list this year, receiving exactly 1,500 applicants. Of these, 170 offers were sent and 160 were accepted. With success rates of 11.3% and 10.7%, the medicine applicants saw a considerable increase in their chances of success. The course saw over 200 fewer applicants compared to 2023, which likely explains the jump in success rates. Engineering science is another fairly popular course at Oxford, though it's often overshadowed by Cambridge's offering, which is the most popular degree at the university in 2024. At Oxford, 1,137 people applied to study the subject, of which 204 were given offers and 176 were ultimately accepted. This gave pretty favourable success rates of 17.9% and 15.5%, which were actually lower than in 2023. English is a core subject in UK schools, but Oxford's course only pulled in 869 applications in 2024. Of these, 237 were given offers and 206 were accepted. This gave very good success rates by Oxford standards of 27.3% and 23.7% respectively. Lastly, let's look at the other 2 core science degrees at Oxford. Chemistry received 1,070 applications, which resulted in 214 offers and 185 acceptances. This gave success rates of 20% and 17.3%. Meanwhile, biology had 731 applications, 130 offers and 109 acceptances, which gave success rates of 17.8% and 14.9%. So while physics was the most popular science degree, chemistry was the easiest to get into. This is everything we'll cover in this video, but there's plenty more that we can learn from these reports. As well as the overall figures for each course, we also have the breakdowns of applications for every college at the university. As well as this, we can break down the data based on a variety of different factors, including domicile, school type, and gender, all of which we'll cover in their own videos. If your course wasn't mentioned in the video, be sure to visit our comprehensive guide on every Oxford course admission stats, which you can find in the description. While you're there, be sure to check out the link to download our free book, The Big Book of Oxford Applications. This book is the perfect starting point for anyone considering applying to Oxford or Cambridge, as it covers every step of the application process in great detail. It's available for free directly from us, so we'd recommend that you take a look. Remember to subscribe so you can catch more videos about Oxford, Cambridge and anything to do with both of these universities. Thanks for watching and best of luck with your application.